Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Yarnflakes Podcast. My name is Audrey and this is a nitty, yarny podcast from the southwest of France. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me for this new episode. I hope you are doing well, that you are having a fine April, as fine as it can be. And yeah, I have a little episode for you with 3 projects to present. I have a new design that I just published. It is the sweater I'm wearing. And I also have 2 new works in progress to show you, which I hope you will enjoy. So yeah, let's get started. I'm going to try and get to the point because I did tell my mother not to make any noise, but it seems like it's a difficult concept. I don't know what she's doing. She started by yelling at the dog. Then she, as I was recording the French one, yelling at the dog, smashing glass things on the floor, and then sliding furniture. So I think that's the 3 very distinct things you should not do when someone asks you not to be too noisy for a bit, but that's how it is. I'm going to start with the podcast. You can find timestamps to all the different sections of the podcast in the description down below. So if you want to skip anything, feel free to look at that and jump ahead. I also put links to everything that I talk about, whether it's the patterns or the yarns that I will be mentioning. And yeah, you can find also my links to my social media and my pattern shops on Ravelry, Payhip, and also Lovecrafts. So yes, we start with a new design release, which is a pattern that I'm wearing, and it is the Ori sweater. So it's the last of the big cozy knits for the season, and it is a really big oversized sweater. Mostly stockinette. It is a basic design. You start with the shoulders with some seed stitch details. You do some short rows, then you start knitting the back, then you pick up for the front, do the shoulders again, and then you start the V-neck shaping. I am sorry, the sweater was folded for quite a while, and there's a crease here. And you start the V-neck shaping. So it's a rather low neck because it's like a really huge jumper intended to be worn over something. And yeah, then you join the body in the round, and then it's stockinette until the bottom, where you have again a seed stitch detail, which is just a rectangle, little discreet detail of seed stitch. And basically what this does is that since the seed stitch short rows, row gauge, is a bit tighter than the stockinette, then it just creates a gentle curve here. You have optional horizontal bust darts here with short rows. So in case you notice that your sweaters often tend to lift at the bottom front because you don't have enough room for your bust, then this is a way to avoid this with the short rows. And then you pick up for the sleeves. So the sleeves are really wide and cozy, and you again have the seed stitch detail here at the top. You have some decreases here because I don't know, I decided I really liked placing decreases for drop shoulders on the top of the sleeves because I feel like it just matches the curve a little bit better. And then you have more decreases here at the cuff. And my cuffs are not too gathered because I mostly want to do this. But if you want, you can make the sleeves tighter, either by making the armhole depth a little bit less loose, picking up less stitches, or just increasing more in general. And you can also gather the cuff more, so you have more of a balloon effect. Basically, this is a really simple sweater that you can really adapt to your liking very easily. So yeah, I wanted it big and cozy. It's worn with a lot of ease, including on the sleeves. I don't really like when people make rules. I find that a lot of rules are just personal preferences that people say are things you should and shouldn't do. One of those in particular is the fact that a lot of people don't like drop shoulders with loose sleeves, and they say that if you're making a drop shoulder, you have to make a fitted sleeve because it's more feminine, and because if not, the sweater looks sloppy. And no, feminine is not a goal in itself for me, and I don't know. I like sloppy. So yeah, but if you want to adjust anything to your liking in this pattern, it is very easy. And yes, so it is knitted at a decay weight gauge, and this was created in collaboration with Les Petites Potions, which is an indie dyer local to me. She's a friend of mine, and I did, so I wanted to thank you because is that a cat or a squirrel? No, that's a cat. Way less exciting. It's my cat, so I know it. If not, it would be totally exciting. I stopped talking about the whole menagerie in the garden. In the latest podcast episode, I did talk a little bit about hand-dyed yarns and commercial yarns and how to sort of make things a little bit accessible, etc. I did want to thank everyone for their comments and their insight. It was really, really nice to read. And I did realize that as soon as I published the podcast, it came to my mind. I was like, I completely forgot to talk about the fact that sometimes as a designer, you do receive free yarn to design with. And so yeah, the thing is, I did make the math for my designs, and it's about 20% of my designs that were made in yarns that was gifted to me, whether indie or commercial, actually, because this happens too. And so I don't have the reflex to... Do you say reflex in that sense in English? Not sure. It's not instinct for me to say when I paid for yarn, because that's the standard and that's what I do. Most of the time I buy most of my yarn for several reasons. I mostly prefer to create that way because it puts me in a setting that I'm more comfortable with, and I also just like to support people when I can by buying the yarn. And so I tend not to say when I purchased the yarn, because to me that's normal, but I do say when the yarn was gifted or sent to me to make a pattern. So yeah, just in general, if I don't say that it was gifted, it means it wasn't. And I don't know if I can get the habit of saying I paid for it, because for me that's normal. And so yeah. However, I have a problem with this because I don't remember. The thing is, I do have a lot of yarn from Deborah. Some of it she gifted me to try things and for designs. Some of it I bought because I bought quite a bunch of her yarn and for designs. And sometimes I want to buy something, but she sends it to me and I'm like, just and so I actually don't remember. I think I paid for those. But I did ask her, I think I did, but I asked her to make them for me and then I paid. I'm not sure. I think I did. Anyway, it's, I have a lot of Deborah's yarn, so it's not really an ethical question because I have a lot of it anyway. purchased including some that I purchased. I can't English today. Sorry. But it is using her original base, which is a non-superwash Highland base. So Highland is like Peruvian wool. It's like a friendly rustic yarn, if you will. And this base in particular, it has a black ply here and then, which makes this marled effect, which I really, really like. And I decided to pair it with a mohair because I found that it sort of made everything soft. It made the marling soft, and at the same time it added a new color interest, so to say. And what I did is I used a mohair that was also in a different color. I used a mohair that was grey, whereas the base yarn was pink with the black marl. And you can see that, for example, here in this section, when there's no black portion, you also have a heathered effect because of the grey mohair. So it's like double heathered, if you will. And I really like the result. And the combinations are endless because you can absolutely use the same color mohair and marled yarn, and it's absolutely lovely. But you can also choose 2 different ones like I did, and yeah, it's just really, really fun. And one thing that I wanted to say is I wanted to encourage you to try combining non-superwash and mohair, because I think it's absolutely lovely. The thing is, if you don't like using non-superwash yarns because you're afraid you would be too sensitive to it, basically the problem is cancelled with mohair, because what you get is the feel of mohair, so the fluff and the softness. However, you have the lightness of the non-superwash. If I were to make such a jumper with superwash yarn and mohair, it would be a little bit heavier, a little bit warmer, but non-superwash plus mohair is light and a little bit more fluffy, and it has the softness of mohair. So it's a really good combination to try, in my opinion, and I really, really enjoy it. I did forget to talk about the hems and everything. So all the finishing in the sweater is made with hems. So basically, you take a smaller needle, you knit a portion of stockinette, you knit a roll of pearls, which makes this sort of picot effect. Then you knit again some stockinette, so you end up with something like this, and then you fold it over and you seam it on the inside. So it's not really a seam because you're not binding off stitches and then seaming it. I don't understand why you would do that. It uses too much yarn for me and it makes it a bit too tight. Here, what you do is you just catch the live stitches, and the pattern gives you instructions on how to do it, so you know exactly where to start and how to align, and it's really easy to do. And you basically just catch the live stitches on your needle and attach them to the inside of your knitting, and you have this really neat finishing touch, and I really like it. And it's also the same on the neckline. And on the neckline here at the center, because it's a V-neck and you want to have the point, you also do a double centered decrease here. And it is the S2KP, not the SK2P. So if you don't know, there are 2 types of double decreases that are quite similar. One of them is you slip one, knit 2 together, and pass the slip stitch over. Sometimes this is wrongly referred to as centered double decreases. It's not centered because it leans left. And the one in the pattern that is in the instructions that so you just do the one that's written, is you slip 2 together knitwise, and then you knit one, and then you pass the slip stitch over. And what this does is that, so you have the 3 stitches, right? And the 2 that are decreased, they go like behind the other one. So you have the center one pushing forward. If you do the decrease, that is mentioned in the pattern. And yeah. So that's it. So it's a really basic garment. I like to do some really basic things from time to time. Last year I did the Ryu sweater, which is a unisex, well, everything is unisex, but it's just like, there were 2 versions. I made one for my partner and one for me. And yeah, for lovers of stockinette. I hope you're happy. You like went through all of this, all of those months where it was just cables and cables, and now here we have it, stockinette. There's just a little bit of seed stitch, just teeny bit of seed stitch, not a lot. But yeah, I really liked how the seed stitch looked in this marred yarn. It just adds a really fun texture on the shoulders. I really like it. So yeah, if you like the designs, it is available, like I said, on Ravelry and Payhip and Lovecraft. And it is 15% off on Ravelry for the release with the code ORI, so O-R-I, until Sunday to celebrate its release. So I hope you like it. It's like my rare occasion that I have a V-neck design, because I don't like V-necks. No, it's fine. I'm just not used to wearing them a lot, and this means that I don't know what to wear with them, because like I'm confused. So like I have this big cozy jumper, right? And I'm like, what about here? I'm cold here. What do I do here? Like what? I don't really understand. If you're cold, why are you not cold here? But so that's why I tend to wear V-neck things with high neck shirts. But I try to find like blouses and shirts like this with lace or things, or that could show through the V-neck. But since I don't have a lot of it in my wardrobe and I'm not used to this, it's a bit annoying, because you need to get the perfect undergarment with the right size and shape neck to match the one of your sweater. And so it's because this, if I just let it be, if I just leave it as it doesn't work. So yeah, now I can sort of make the reverse. That is, I could knit sweaters to fit those shirts. But yeah, it's just a bit difficult for me to find, since I don't have a lot of undergarments like this with necks that could, or collars, then it doesn't work for me, because you really need to have some that match the depth and the width, and that's difficult to find. Because I got this, hoping it would work, and it doesn't really. So, like, but yeah, like, I would need to make like it very low and very wide for it to work with this shirt. So I guess I need to find something else. But yeah, for me, it's really not an easy thing to wear a V-neck, because you need to have the right one. And I get that if you have it's the same thing if you have a regular collar shirt, because sometimes like people will have like a buttoned shirt, right, and they will have the collar poking off. But if it's completely open, again, you're cold there. So what? I don't understand. It's not a thing for me, I guess. But yeah, I still made a V-neck sweater for you all, and I really like mine, and I will wear it a lot, just with a neck under it, because it's a bit like the the trend of like the asymmetrical thing. You have like sometimes shirts have like a turtleneck and they have one long sleeve and then there's no sleeve here, and I'm like, so you're not cold just on one arm. So it's a little bit, people who wear a lot of v-neck, that's how I see you. I'm like, you're just not cold here. Where are your thermoreceptors here? You don't have them. It's like, that's how it is. And I know, like, you wear shawls on it. I'm like, I'm not gonna wear a shawl inside, like here. I mean, I'm gonna wear it on my shoulders, but I'm not gonna wear like a scarf around my neck inside. So yeah, complicated things. Of course, this does not work if it's a summery thing, because if it's a summery thing, then you don't have to wear anything under it. So if you're in Europe, because like I'm not gonna find anything overseas, but if you're in Europe and you know of, I don't know, a clothing shop or something that has blouses or tops that have some sort of interest, like a lace or a collar, but they're like positioned well enough that they work with a lot of v-necks, sweaters, tell me, because I can't find anything. And I'm a bit confused. But I do think this is pretty, but it just doesn't stay right. And I did get the smallest size on these, so anyway, what I could do is get lace and seam it inside. There are some designs, knitwear designs that I've seen that are like this. I think this is pretty. Maybe I could do this, but then it would mean that I could not change it. Maybe I need a clip-on thing. So, I don't know. I don't know what to do. There's a lot of possibilities, but I'm so uninterested in all of them that I'm like, meh. Anyway, moving on from this sweater into my works in progress. And in last episode, I showed you some yarn that I was planning to start knitting with, which was yarn from a French indie dyer, Teinture Lurée. Her. And it was a blend of merino and mohair in a single waist. And I started. So my idea was to make a triangular shawl. I haven't made a lot of triangular shawls actually, top down I mean. I actually have only one design like this. The thing is, you need to find the right pattern for it, I think, because so I have a little drawing of what I want to do for this design, and so far I'm sticking to it. But yeah, basically when you knit a triangular shawl, you increase here and you increase here. So you need to handle, when you make a chart for your pattern, for example, you have a chart that goes like this and on both sides. So you end up with two charts that goes like this. And the thing is, if your motif repeat is too big, then you end up with really big charts. And so until now, I didn't have a lot of triangular shawl ideas in that direction because, I wasn't attracted to any motif that would have worked until a few months ago. And now I have so many ideas. Like, I have 3 design ideas, one of which I don't know if it's possible because it's a big repeat and it will make a big chart, but it could work. And in the last episode, I showed you a motif that I was considering using, which was garter stitch and slip stitches, and it made sort of a hexagonal shape. I changed my mind, obviously. This is a really pretty stitch, but I think it looks good flat and uninterrupted, so it doesn't really work with the flow of a triangular shawl. But it's okay, because I found something that I absolutely love. And have you ever considered mixing brioche and twisted stitches? Because it's gorgeous. So, and you see, I think with triangular shapes, motifs that go with the flow, I think they look so much better. So this is what my shawl looks like so far. So I started here with the garter tab cast on. I have a garter border. I put eyelets in and then I drop them so that it's a stretchy border. You increase with yarn over here and make one right and make one left here. And then I started, mohair everywhere. I started with this stitch motif, which I really, really like. So yeah, like I said, you have that stitch here, which is a brioche stitch. And then you have twisted stitches that go in that direction, and here they go in this direction. And I just think it looks really cool. I found it in Japanese Stitch Dictionary. It was knitted very tightly and mixed with other cables. And so it looks completely different here, but I love the result. It's so squishy and nice. It's really, really nice. Basically, so the tuck stitch, the brioche stitch, it's a slipped stitch, but instead of leaving the yarn on the back or on the front, you put it over. Yeah, thanks Sherlock, I guess. But what I mean is, so brioche, as you usually see it, it's just this tuck stitch all over, right? Either in a ribbing or in a honeycomb pattern. But you don't have to use it all over. And you can use that principle of a tuck stitch with other techniques, with other stitches, and just have one of them that makes his thing. And I'm not a huge fan of all over, like the brioche. I find it really pretty, but for me it's like stockinette or garter, and I'm not drawn to it that much. But I really love incorporating other types of tuck stitches motif, and I've used a lot of them in my big patchwork like shawl that will be coming in autumn. And this is another one of them, and I just think it's really fun. And it's easy to knit. It's super easy to knit. It's a 5th stitch repeat. So that's the thing. My charts, they're only 10 rows and they're really small. And it's so nice because it's not complicated, but it's like you have to do a lot of twisted stitches, right? Every 3 rows or so. So if you're not into manipulating your stitches a lot, then yeah, that would be a bit difficult. But it's not at all complicated to execute. On the contrary, in every wrong side row, you just knit as is, and I just think it's so beautiful. I just think it's a little bit too much, like too slow, and a little bit too much manipulation for a whole garment, for example. But here in the shawl, it's lovely. So, once I had enough, I moved on and I did a row of bubbles in the contrast color. So I just slipped stitches and made my little bubbles, and then I went back at the beginning of the row. And yeah, I started making some twisted stitch, and I'm gonna make some smoking smokes. When you wrap the yarn around the stitches. And yeah, so far it really is faithful to my sketch. So yeah, after that I want to try and make a little section of a tweed slip stitch motif using both colors, and then I will finish with ribbing in the contrast color. I just think that I really like finishing triangular shawls with ribbing. I just think it looks really good, And then I might add some pom-poms somewhere. Small ones, tassels. We'll see. But it's so squishy and nice. I really like it. Yeah. Full of textures, shawl. So that's one of my work in progress. And the other one is an idea that I had. And I find that I often have like very spontaneous design ideas for the summer. Probably because they are quicker to knit and things, and so it often happens that time. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep readjusting it all the time because it doesn't work. I like I don't know. It happened last year and it happened this year again that I get an idea for a summer design and I'm like, I need it now because I knit a lot with the season. So if it's hot and I want to knit things for hot weather, and that's kind of how I work. So I saw on Instagram a t-shirt from a ready-to-wear t-shirt, and I can't find the brand. And I can't do like a search on Google with the image because it's an Instagrammer picture, and yeah, I can't find it. And maybe it's can't find the brand. What I mean, and maybe it's an old thing that like maybe it's a vintage find. I don't know, but I like it a lot. It's so it was a striped t-shirt, horizontal stripes. But the color changed between the body and the sleeves. So the body was white stripes on red, one sleeves was white stripes on yellow, and the other sleeves was 2 shades of blue. And I just find it so fun to shift the things. It was really, really cute, and I wanted that t-shirt. I can't find it. So I'm like, I'm gonna make my own. It's fine. But yeah, I needed to find how to make it work for knitting. Because the original t-shirt is satin sleeves, right? But I'm not comfortable enough with satin sleeves to be able to make something with ease. Because, yeah, the thing is, I wanted the t-shirt with ease. I wanted a loose summery thing. But with satin sleeves, you still need it to be like here. And I'm not comfortable enough with that shape to do it justice, I think. And also you would have needed to handle the stripes in the short rows. Should have been alright, but I then decided and then wondered if I could do it as a raglan, because you could knit it flat, knit each part in the different colors flat, and then seam them together here flat, like if you're sewing a garment. It's the same principle. But then I thought that if I had a very harsh line like this with the color change, maybe it wouldn't have been perfect. So what was left was the drop shoulder. And for me, it worked because it added a new thing, is that I had to handle intarsia. And so I'm going to show you, because I actually almost completed half of the first sample, because I'm going to make 2 samples for this. So this is what I ended up doing. I'm going to put it over my head so you can actually see how it falls. It's a bit weird since it's not blocked and on cables, but that's a lovely trifecta here: the lace, the v-neck, and the neckline. But yeah, so this is what I ended up doing, and I really like it, because the thing is, this means that you can do so many different things. So you can reverse the stripes like I did here. Basically, you're gonna have the 2 shoulders and the body, right? So my main body color is gonna be this. It's black and then the gray stripes. And so on one shoulder, what I did is I just reversed it. And then on one shoulder, I changed the contrast color. I could have changed the main color. I could have changed all the colors and or reverse the stripes. So you can do so many things. Basically, you can just make it a very basic striped t-shirt and not do anything special on the shoulders. You can just use 2 colors and reverse the stripes, and then you can use up to 6 colors and mix and match them while reversing the stripes or not. And you could even make the front and back shoulders different. It's a lot of fun possibilities. And so I'm considering in the pattern, I think what I will do is I will make a empty schematic with the stripes, so you can print it and write on it, or color if you want, so that you can have fun. And basically the possibilities are not endless, but there's a lot of possibilities and a lot of different color possibilities. And I just really like it. So basically I have finished the upper body, and now I'm gonna join everything in the round together, and I will just knit in my main color. So the contrast thing is only on the shoulder, and then basically I'm just gonna knit in this center thing here. So just in the round black with the gray stripe, which will be nice and relaxing and go super quick. And yeah, it's really fun. So basically what you do is you handle intarsia and stripes at the same time. It's not complicated, but yeah, the pattern will just let you free of doing whatever you want with the different colors, and you just have to make it the way you like. And intarsia is not complicated if you have never knit it. Basically, you just knit different sections in different colors or with different balls of yarn, and you just have to twist the strands when you come to them on one side. So really, really simple. You just have to manage the balls of yarn. I had 5 balls of yarns on this. You can have up to 6. Yeah, I find it really fun. So this is the back. Basically, I started with the shoulders. I made a bit of short rows, and then I joined at the back, introducing the body here, body center part, and then I knitted in intarsia and in stripe until the desired back length. Then I picked up stitches at the front and did the same. I shaped the neckline, so I will make another sample in different yarn and colors, and I will also make the neckline different, because here basically on the neckline you knit a certain length straight, so you have a very low, as you saw, a very low scoop neck. Well, it's not very low, but it's like here. And on the other one I will just knit that straight portion shorter, so I have a tighter round neckline. So this will also be a possibility. And yeah, now I'm done with the intarsia things, and I'm just gonna knit in the round with stripes. There will be a color jog correction as well written in the pattern. And yeah, I hope you think it's fun, because I really do. As you can see, intarsia on the wrong side, it looks like this. You also have to catch the unused yarn every now and then, but that's it. So you don't have to cut it, because you already have enough ends. I mean, but it's okay. And I hope you find it as fun as I do. I finished the neckline just so I could check the fit. And basically I'm doing the same thing as I did with Ori, which is a folded over stockinette neckline, and I will do the same on the sleeves, cuffs, because it will be short sleeves, and the hem, because it gives that sort of t-shirt ready to wear thing. And yeah, so I will finish this, and to finish the cuffs, basically I will finish the cuff with the main color on either side. I'm hesitating a bit. I don't know if I should do this, see? Because I really love this color, but I think this looks weird because, okay, so this is going to be like this, the sleeve scuffs here. I think this is weird, and I think I need to keep the black on this one so it's coherent and the cuffs are in the background color. I'm using a Bio Balance BC Garn, which is a cotton and wool blend, which I have used in the past, and it's a lovely summery yarn. And yeah, this is my neutral low neck sample, and I will make another sample in the colors that I've seen the original t-shirt in, and I will actually make it in the same yarn that I was using for the tank top that I showed you in the last episode, which is the silk and cotton blend. I will use my leftovers from the tank top, and I ordered some more colors to basically make a more colorful version, basically, and with a tighter neck. So there will be 2 samples to give you some inspiration, but like I said, you could do whatever. And yeah, so I hope you find it as fun as I do. I will make the 2 samples, and I will probably get the pattern ready for August, I think. But yeah, I really like it. I think it's fun, and I can't wait to finish it and to make the other one as well. And so yeah, that's my impromptu summer design idea, and I hope you will enjoy it too. So I think that's it. I think I've talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, have a nice end of April. I will see you again at the beginning of May, where we will start the summery things. And yeah, have a nice end of the day or evening, and I will see you next time. Bye!